Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for making it in tonight. We have a few things to go over. We'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. I know it's a little bit warm. It's probably going to get warm in here. A lot of you have questions right now about where the baskets are, where you put your paperwork and things like that. We will explain that. That's part of our process tonight. Everything is going to be done online with the registration process from here on out. And the good news is this will be the last co-curricular meeting that we're going to require you to come in. In the future, everything is going to be done online with video quizzes along, with the code presentation. So you'll be able to do it in the comfort of your own home. So this will be the last time we do that, which I think I see a few smiles out there already. Thank you. First, before we get into the code itself, I want to introduce our new trainer. He's kind of new. He came in about February last year, finished up the winter season for us, and then the spring season. Zachary Robertson comes from Bay Area Medical. He just wants to touch upon a couple things with you to make the transition and the health care of your child as smooth a transition as possible this year. So, Zachary Robertson.
Hello everyone, I'm Zachary Robertson. I'm a certified and licensed athletic trainer here for Crivitz. Just a couple things I want to mention while I'm here. All my services I provide here are free. I am here for your student athletes. So if your student athletes do need anything, by all means, don't hesitate to come see me. If you have questions, I do have a card with my number and email. So please, by all means, feel free to contact me. Another thing I want to touch up on is if your student athlete goes and sees somebody outside of my care, I do need a note or some sort of slip saying that they're going to go back to play. Whether they have any restrictions or they can't go to play for a certain amount of weeks, I need to know about it and the coaches need to know about it. So we're just not sending your athletes back out onto the field with an injury that none of us know about. So that's one thing I want to cover. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great school this year. I had fun working with you guys over the summer. Those of you students that showed up for strength and conditioning, all you guys know who you are. And then best of luck this year. Go Wolverines.
Thank you, Zach. We're going to get right into some of the nuts and bolts of our extracurricular activities code. There are copies in the back table. If you didn't grab one, you can help yourself and grab one as we go through this. We also have extra chairs, extra racket chairs for those that are standing. You can grab one. We have a lot of space down here yet. You can bring your chairs down here. First thing with the extracurricular code, and a lot of you have heard me say this, those that are returning. For those that are new, just want to make something perfectly clear with our goals as a staff here for our extracurricular activities that we offer here at Crivitz High School and Crivitz Middle School is, winning is a byproduct here. In the goals section here on page 3, it says nothing along the lines of trying to get your son or daughter a college scholarship or trying to get them to the professional level. Extracurriculars at the high school level embody a lot more than those goals. You can certainly have those goals for yourself, but for big picture here, what we offer for our small town, winning is a byproduct. And I applaud you for partaking in extracurriculars. It's extra time commitment, obviously. There has to be a lot of time management involved with that, and a lot of hard work that goes with that. So I applaud those that do take the challenge of participating in extracurriculars. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. We're not going to go through every single bullet point here tonight. We're going to just, like I said before, get to the main points. The first thing I want to direct your attention on is on page 4 with eligibility. To make this perfectly clear, with football starting tomorrow, you need a physical or an alternate year card uploaded before practice tomorrow. We have equipment handled at 3 p.m. and practice starts at approximately 4:30. So we'll go through that process tonight, how to get that accomplished if you have not turned in your physical or alternate year card already. If you already did turn it into the high school office, we have it, and we'll get that uploaded. And all the paperwork involved Now, the general rule of thumb across the board, every sport is a little bit different. I know volleyball has different expectations. They require all their paperwork to be turned in prior to the first practice. But at minimum, you must have an alternate year card or physical turned in along with the co-curricular code signed before the first practice. The rest of the paperwork can be filled in prior to the first game. And hopefully with this online registration, that'll be a much more smoother transition. Also, just so that everybody's aware that our extracurricular code that we're going through here tonight is for all season, for all year, excuse me. So that includes the summer months, that includes your off season. All right, if you're still considered under the code, if you go out for baseball your freshman year, and maybe you don't decide to go out for baseball your sophomore year, you're still going to be under that code until that next spring season starts, so that whole calendar year. In terms of attendance, a lot of people have some confusion with the attendance policy here in terms of being able to participate in a practice or a game. Some parents in years past have called kind of frantically saying my son or daughter won't be in school the second half of the day because they have a dentist appointment, they have a doctor's appointment. Okay, well that would be something, an example that will be cleared by administration. All you have to do is just inform us. Okay. However, if there is no excuse, as in you didn't feel like going to school that day, or you didn't feel like coming in till 6th hour or 5th hour, all right, and you didn't complete a full half of a day, the second half of the day, then you are not eligible to practice or play if there's a game that night. Just so that everybody's aware. If you are suspended for any reason, that includes in-school suspensions, as well as out-of-school suspensions, you are not eligible to practice or play, depending on if there's a game that night. And a lot of coaches have their own team rules. If you don't practice the night before a game, if you're suspended the day before a game and you're not able to practice, then there's a good possibility you may have to sit the game as well, depending on team rules, which coaches will go through those with the players and or parents prior to each season. So just so everybody's aware on the attendance policy. In terms of academic eligibility, I'm skipping up to page 7. This is nothing new for those entering high school. If you have any F, whether it be a quarter F, or semester F for that matter, you are academically ineligible for 3 weeks. Okay? 21 days or 15 school days, whichever comes first. So our fall sports start obviously before school. You will be academically, or you'll be ineligible from an academic standpoint for 21 days. From the time of the first game, not just the first practice. So you'll be able to practice. In football, you'll be able to play in the scrimmage, and if volleyball has a scrimmage, you'll be able to play in a scrimmage, but you will not be able to play in those games that fall in that 21-day window. If it's during the school season, school year, this past year, for example, we had third quarter end and then we had spring break, so the 21-day rule took over instead of 15 school days because 21 days passed before the 15 school days passed because we had that week-long spring break. But during a typical, in between first quarter and second quarter, or second quarter and third quarter, if you have a failing grade in any class, you will be academically ineligible for 15 school days. At the end of the 3-week period, and a lot of students have missed this in the past as well. So you serve your 3 weeks, your 15 days, or your 21 days are up. You look in skyward, you're passing all your classes, you said, yes, I'm good to go. No, unfortunately you're not. You will have to go around to your teachers, and you will have to get their signature and your current grade, which not all grades all the time are updated in skyward. They are for the most part, but that specific day on what you're getting, if you're passing at that end of that mark, you have to go around and get a signature from all your teachers, and then you will have to submit that sheet to me. You can get those sheets in the high school office, or the junior high has a little bit different academic eligibility than high school. So we're just talking about high school here. And you must be passing all your classes, not just passing the class if you failed, but you have to pass in all your classes. So if you're failing a different class after that 3-week period, you're still academically ineligible until the end of the quarter. For a lot of sports, that's the end of the year. For a lot of sports. So this counts for those 8th graders moving into 9th grade as well. At the junior high level, it's a little bit different with the grading policy. If you are failing a class, your teachers are going to have rosters of all the kids that are in those specific activities, extracurriculars. If you are failing a class, they will notify me, I will notify the coach. So if they notify me on a Tuesday that you're failing English, I will notify the coach, and that will take place the following day. So if you do have a game that Tuesday night, and I get informed, and your coach gets informed that Tuesday that you're failing, this is for junior high, you'll be able to play in the game at night, but then you'll be ineligible starting Wednesday morning until you get that grade up. And then they notify me, and then you get the okay. All right, you'll still be able to practice, but you won't be able to participate in any contests. Anybody have any questions on the grading policy? Okay, moving on then to our co-curricular code in terms of our expectations of our student athletes. Okay, in page 8, there's no such thing as responsible use of controlled substances or mood-altering chemicals, alcohol or tobacco, including e-cigarettes by any high school student. Adolescent use is against the law, it jeopardizes the student's health and safety, and inhibits attainment of individual potential and goals. So bottom line, any of those substances are not allowed for you to consume while you participate in extracurriculars here at Crivitz. Okay? That includes, and this is a little bit touchy subject, but it is what it is, our mere presence policy. And you can read those bullet points on your own. But bottom line, if you show up to any place that is where there's alcohol being consumed by underagers, okay, or by people of age for that matter, and you do not leave immediately, that is considered a code violation. If you get turned in, even if you hung out there for 10 minutes to say hi, okay, that is still considered an athletic code or activities code violation. You must leave immediately when you have the knowledge that drugs or alcohol are present. Now that does not count for, let's say, graduation parties, where it's monitored by adults, weddings, anniversaries, anything like that. You're having a, retirement party of some sort, that is an exception. However, that does not give you, as a student athlete, or student for that matter, to consume. Even if it's, your parents or your Uncle Joe says it's fine. It's not allowable under this code. Okay, so even in the mere presence policy, that still will apply. If it so happens where it comes to our attention that there's been a violation, the first violation will be 25% of the scheduled contest for Group 1 activities. If they turn themselves in, if you turn yourself in before us knowing, then that gets reduced to 10% for the first time only. That does not count if you get a citation of some sort from law enforcement, because we can get that information. Okay? So if you got a drinking ticket or you got a smoking ticket, and then you feel bad, you come in, that's still at 25%. Okay? Just so we're clear of that. You can reduce your suspension from 25% to 10% another way, and that's by participating in a school-approved assessment and follow-up program, which our guidance counselor has that contact information. I think the latest class runs, it's a 6-week course. It runs between $300 and $400. Okay? So you can drop it to 10% if that's the case. For your second violation, 2 aspects of the second violation. If you get caught a second time, the following year, it's 50% of your season, whatever sport you're in. So just to be clear, if you have, let's say in softball, for example, you have 25 games, and you have, or 20 let's say I have 24 games scheduled, okay? 25% is 6 games. So let's say there's only 2 games left in the softball season, you sit those 2, and whatever sport comes next, you still have 4 contests in which you're ineligible for that following fall, if you're an underclassman. Okay, so it does carry over. All right, same thing goes for the 50%. Now, if you get this second violation within the same calendar year, or I'm sorry, same academic year, then you are out for a calendar year. You're suspended for a calendar year. If you get a second violation within the same academic year. You can participate in a drug and alcohol assessment course. It will not reduce your penalty. However, it does give you an opportunity to have up to a 3rd violation and still be eligible. But if you don't participate in a school assessed drug and alcohol, or school drug and alcohol assessment, then on the first or second time, it's 3 strikes and you're out. The 3rd violation I just mentioned, it's 3 strikes and you're out. Unless you participated in up to then 3 drug and alcohol assessments, which that puts you at about $1,000 for your problems. So, anybody have any questions in that regard? Okay. Now this just applies for the high school with our suspicionless randomized drug testing. This is our 3rd year that we're doing this. It is done free by, or the drug kits are given to us by Bay Area Medical, no cost. For those incoming freshmen that are unaware of how this works, we draw 2 times a month. We draw 5 numbers, and it's not at we have no control on who gets drawn. Those that sign up and that sign the code are given an ID number through Bay Area Medical. Bay Area Medical has no idea how these ID numbers are attached to students. They just have the numbers. They draw the numbers in a randomized computer system. They spit out 5 numbers. They email them to me, and then we draw those 5 students. We've had students in the past that got picked 5 times in a year, and I'm pretty sure we have students that this is year 3 and they haven't been picked yet. It's random. It's again, I can't emphasize enough. There's been students in the past that have questioned that. I've showed them the process, and they were good with it. Okay, at least they believe me anyway. It really is random, and that will be conducted by the school nurse and/or our athletic trainer. You're in sample. It's a 12-panel test, and the purpose of this test, as mentioned before, is to steer kids away from usage. That's what it's designed to do. Yes, if you're in extracurricular activities, you're going to get a code violation. But the parents are going to be informed. The student will meet with a guidance counselor and be given options on numbers to call, and that's where the line is drawn right there. Nothing more. And from past experiences, I'm doing this only for a couple years, and a number of parents that are very appreciative of that, to be in the know. Now, if you feel that the test is inaccurate, we have what we call a non-negative result, which in layman's terms is a positive test, for one of the 12 substances that we test for. And you feel that test is wrong. You have a 24-hour window on the appeals of the positive test on page 13. And 24 hours of notification, you can go to a physician to get a test done at your expense. So they'll send that test down to a clinic, I think, in Alabama. While that process takes place, it takes about a week or so, that student is not ineligible for extracurriculars until we get those results back. Once we get those results back and it's confirmed, then a code violation will take place. If it comes back as a negative test, the school will reimburse the family the cost of the test. Not the cost of the doctor's visit, the cost of the test. That is done. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Moving right along here on page 14. Other serious violations or conduct unbecoming of a student athlete. The bullet points under this heading are just some examples of what could possibly be considered conduct unbecoming of a student athlete. We hold you to a higher standard, and that will never change for those that participate in extracurricular. You're representing our school, you're representing our community, you're representing your teammates, as well as yourself and your family. So we hold you to higher standards in that regard. Okay? Any one of these violations can be up to an athletic code violation. Could be a 2-game suspension, could be a 4-game suspension, it could vary. Depending upon the seriousness of the crime, or the offense, I should say. So, if you get a ticket for speeding, that's not conduct unbecoming. Okay? You get a ticket for vandalism, that's conduct unbecoming. There's a difference. If you get a ticket for traveling at a really high rate of speed and trying to outrun the cops, yeah, that's conduct unbecoming. That's a little bit different than a speeding ticket. Okay? Moving on to the appeals process on page 15. If you happen to get a co-curricular violation and you want to appeal the ruling, violations may be reported to the administration, coach, teacher, and/or advisor. The athletic director then will investigate the alleged violation for Group 1 activities, while the principal will investigate allegations for Group 2 and Group 3 activities. When a decision has been reached, the parent, guardian, and the student will be informed. So that happens for every code violation. You'll be notified by phone and through writing. If you want to appeal that, you have 10 days to put it in writing and submit it to myself. And then there will be an appeals board. That will consist of the guidance counselor, 4 coaches, advisors, or faculty members. The coach or faculty member where the code violation is affected will not be part of that appeals board. And then you'll have a chance to have the student come in along with their parents. The student will speak on their behalf, the athletic director will speak, and then that appeals board will make the final decision. Okay? Last but not least, our activity fee. We had a little confusion last year with it moving to junior high level. Just to clear a couple things up for this year. There's a $100 activity fee. If you're going to write a check, please write the check out to Crivitz schools. In the memo, put sports participation fee for the last name of your son or daughter. And date it June 1st of 2018. Okay? It can be reimbursed. This check will be stored in our vaults and can be reimbursed if you work 4 Wolverine Sports Boosters events. Now, some had confusion on this in years past. I know volleyball runs a junior high volleyball tournament as a fundraiser. Girls basketball, boys basketball run youth tournaments here and have the concessions as a fundraiser. Those are not run by the Wolverine Sports Boosters. Anything that's run by the Wolverine Sports Boosters, junior high football, junior high track. That's the only sports for junior high because I think cheerleading takes the rest of the concessions over at the junior high games. And then our basketball events here, our varsity JV football events here, wrestling, and track and field, and baseball, softball. So somewhere in there you need to work 4 times throughout the year. Now this can be done a couple different ways. If you like to spend family time, you have a family of 4. You all can sign up for 1 slot, and that's 4 times. Or if you have somebody, an aunt or an uncle that can work for you, they can work on your behalf. And I understand some parents, with their jobs or employment, it's very tough to get to these events. Your son or daughter can work them, and then will count. If you have 1 child, it's a $100 participation fee. If If you have 5 children playing throughout junior high and high school, it's $100. And it's 4 times. And this is the 3rd year we've done that, and we've been able to successfully fill pretty much all of our concession events, which is huge to help supplement our athletic programs, our overall sports boosters. Okay? For those that want to pay that tonight, and you're in a fall sport, volleyball is going to meet here after we go through the registration process. Football is going to meet in the high school gym, and cross country is going to meet in the library. You can give those checks to the coach, and they'll write that down. Okay? If you're not in a and the participation fee is only for Group 1 activities, so it's all our WIAs, interscholastic athletics, cheerleading, and dance. Okay? 7th and 8th grade cheerleaders will be required to pay the $100 participation fee. If we have any 6th graders, we will exempt you until you get to 7th grade. Same thing goes for 5th and 6th grade wrestlers, and 6th grade track members. So we won't, if you only have one child that's in 6th grade or 5th grade playing those sports, we will waive that participation fee until you get to 7th grade. Okay? Anybody have any questions regarding the code? Okay? At this point, I don't know, Mr. Bowman, were you able to roll out Chromebooks? This is going to be a little bit of a process here, but students that are here, you may go grab a Chromebook.